Welcome to the Inspiration Cafe. We're fortunate to have with us today David Dubois, President of the International Association of Exhibitions and Events. Welcome, David.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
So your organization, I think, is celebrating its 85th anniversary this year. Is that correct?
We are, and we celebrated 85 years of success. We started as an organization of trade show managers from the Midwest that wanted to get together and network and learn from each other. And today we've got all kinds of new initiatives that we can talk to you about.
Do you still primarily specialize in, just for my benefit, I'm sure the audience knows, buyer-seller events? Is that the area?
Yes, we're all, like our friends at PCMA, we're all about face-to-face.
Right.
And we'll talk, I'm sure, in a few minutes about hybrid events where technology interfaces with live face-to-face. But yeah, our members are responsible for about 20,000 exhibitions that might be part of an actual annual meeting for an association or corporation. 20,000 a year? In the United States, Canada, and Mexico.
A year?
A year, yes.
Wow, that's remarkable. And because that is one thing we talked about earlier, you are an expert in, is getting experience now with virtual events, hybrid meetings, and maybe we could talk a little bit about that, your experiences in terms of how they work and some of the concerns I know planners may have. How did it all start with you in your first hybrids?
Well, I'll age myself and tell you that I was a hotel sales and marketing person, and to go back into to a little bit of history, obviously when technology and online opportunities became available, there was great concern about face-to-face meetings and events that take place in convention centers, arenas, and hotel meeting rooms and banquet space, that technology and certainly the advent of the internet would quote-unquote replace live events, and that's never been the case. And in today's world, given the incredible technology advances that have happened here in 2013 up until this point in time and beyond, have actually augmented and allowed audiences from around the world to participate in an event and a meeting. For example, here in Orlando for PCMA, there are thousands of people in the internet world experiencing the great networking and education opportunities. Not quite the same as looking eye to eye, right, Bill, like you and I are, but certainly the education opportunities and the delivery of important information has been augmented.
And was the 85th inclusive of did you have some virtual sessions?
We sure did. Our meeting last month in December, we had 1 hour live from noon until 1 o'clock Eastern Time that went across our website. I'm still waiting for the numbers to see how many people dialed in, but like I know PCMA will do is we loaded that and kept it in memory on the website so people can click on, and ours was an hour long, so it was literally 59 minutes and 50 seconds, right, of great interviews, and we had 7 or 8 people come throughout the 1 hour and do interviews like we're doing.
So it's not like you're simulcasting the event, you're picking content that right, you will deliver on a remote basis.
Right, and the opportunity for meeting planners and exhibition organizers is to be able to augment their live events with technology in a hybrid internet world, and then they can get sponsors to help them augment and maybe even make money on it, but certainly cover the cost.
So it's really not a matter of being afraid of virtual. And did you find, because you told me this earlier, that part of the concern is the cannibalization that some organizations may fear, but that's right, not been your experience?
No, not at all. And this is the first time we did it last month, and I think this is either the first or second time our friends at PCMA are doing this. And what that does is that, kind of like the ESPN model, that gives exposure and kind of a taste of what they might be missing by being online in front of their computer or their tablet instead of coming. So maybe next year, Bill, they might say, hey, I'm really intrigued. I am a member of PCMA or IE or any of the organizations or any industry organizations. There are hundreds of thousands of them around the world. I may want a budget to try to go there live because I think we're missing stuff that I can bring back to help my organization.
Is it labor intensive to do these things? Does it require
Well,
special?
Sure it is. You know, you've got lights, camera crews, you've got directors and such, as we're experiencing here. But at the end of the day, you roll that up, you get a good bid from excellent companies like PSAV, and you make it happen, and then you try to get it covered by sponsors. And like I said, if it does cost you X amount of thousands of dollars, you got to look at it as an investment in your marketing and promotion efforts.
I mean, it's great from your perspective because you're president of an organization.
Yes.
Some of the folks we talk to say, well, it's awfully hard sometimes in my organization to get my management to be okay with the fact that we're going to try virtual rather than, was it a tough, I mean, you're the president, so was it a tough sell to your board or to the
No, not at all. I think that at the end of the day, in our case, we have 8,200 members in 57 countries.
Wow.
So we had a little over 2,000 attendees from 24 countries. So think about there's 6,000 more that could make the meeting from another 30 plus countries. So either they were able to watch it from that window of noon to 1 o'clock live, or because it was saved, cached, they can go on it live anytime and stream it out and watch it. So,
and they're dues-paying members, so this is still
value.
value.
You know what? It's a value out to them. So exactly, the member value is still important because every day when that, and I'm sure you belong, Bill, to different associations, maybe broadcast associations, advertising, marketing associations. When you get that invoice in your inbox, and the dues say $350 or $500, whatever the dues amount is, do you think to yourself, did I get value before I send it to accounting? And then they come back, maybe your boss says, Bill, was there value in that?
Right. That's the moment of truth.
ROI.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, exactly to that point then, it may be a necessity in a member organization where you have to keep showing value to get people to attend virtually if they can't get there.
And from an association standpoint, I've had the pleasure of being an association exec for many years now. So much more information is available on the internet. Right. So if you Google something, or go to any of the search engines, and you ask about a certain topic, how many different links do you get?
Right.
Many, in some cases hundreds of links. Now, why do I need to go to an association meeting? But you know what? I've never cut a deal. I've never really learned at the highest of level without looking eye to eye and face to face with somebody. The technology augments. It certainly does.
Right. Does your organization focus only on buyer-seller events? I mean, exhibitions and so?
Well, we do. Most of it is B2B. We have a consumer public show council that helps us look at the, 6,000 or 8,000 shows a year that are bridal shows, jewelry shows, accessory shows, boat shows, and those are what we call B2C consumer shows.
Right.
So those are very valuable as well. But yeah, it's the predominant focus is live events, face-to-face, that generate an incredible economic impact on a city.
See, that's an amazing leap to me to get an organization like that to say, we know we're face-to-face, but there's still room for virtual in our own organization.
Correct.
Even though your members are all saying we need to be face-to-face.
Back in the day when we didn't have these kind of technology advances, Bill, you would do a telephone conference. We still do telephone conference calls, right? But if you would link in 30 people around the world for an hour and a half, and you didn't have the ability to put up the PowerPoint presentations that you can do now, you didn't know somebody was sleeping on the other end.
That's right.
But
in fact, I'm sure they were.
But you were saving money, and let's think of it that way. Let's say there were 50 people that you could do 2 hours on the phone. Think about how much it would cost to fly those 50 people into, an airport, go to an airport hotel, spend 2 days there. So, but back then the technology wasn't as good as it is today. But still, you can't replace the face-to-face ability of conversation in a coffee break. Like the audience behind us right now, this face-to-face, there's some real networking and education and sharing going on. There's probably some deals being cut behind us right now.
Right.
And you can't do that over the phone, over a computer. So you got to have a balanced approach to that.
Is there, and there's been so many changes in technology for meetings and events. What about for exhibitions and events? I mean, are your exhibitors picking up on the same thing, the technology there as well?
Well, I tell you, I went, before I came here to Orlando, I went to the Consumer Electronics Show for 2 days. 3,200 exhibitors, 1.9 million net square feet. That means about 3.5 million, what we would refer to as gross square feet of show, 150,000 attendees. And what I saw that I haven't seen in other shows, because they're really a innovator, creator of synergies. Happens every first couple of weeks in January, so it kicks off our exhibition industry season, as it were. The theaters that they had throughout the exhibit hall, where every 15 or 20 minutes exhibitors would have the opportunity to come in and present for 10 minutes, and it was all time, 10 or 15 minutes, and then have 5 minutes of Q&A, and then 5-minute break, and then another exhibitor would come in. That's value added to the exhibitor and to the attendee, and they would have 50 people in a theater style. So basically, to put a classroom right in the middle of the exhibit hall.
It's amazing. I mean, you pick up ideas from CES that obviously travel to your own
Absolutely.
own members.
Yeah, we have a 150 booth show. No, I'm sorry, 250 booth show. And we started doing these small little theaters throughout our show. So our show is, 60,000 net square feet.
David, any final thoughts as we kind of wrap up here for planners in terms of either live meetings or hybrids or where the industry you think is going?
Great question. Let me speak for just a few minutes about what's happening in the United States. Certainly, our members at PCMA and our members at IAE and other organizations have global members. But in the United States, with the pressures on debt reduction, the potential freezes on government travel and spending, that has a huge effect, negative effect, on live meetings, conventions, and trade shows. But you need somebody from the Government Services Administration or need somebody from TSA to be able to attend live events so they can best put together programs and advancements for United States citizens like ourselves. But if the budgets are frozen, they can't go. So then where are they learning how the new advances can help the citizens of our country, for example?
Right.
So the big challenge and the big shout out to planners and organizers is you may have to double your marketing budget to drive more attendance and look at new markets, because if a lot of things happen over the next 6 months in the United States and in order to get the debt reduced, they're going to have to cut expenses, and unfortunately that's going to be the reality. If I'm a meeting planner or a show organizer, I better have my marketing budget increase so I could make up for that attendance from other markets.
Interesting, fascinating, and true.
And very true.
David,
Unfortunately.
thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
We've been speaking at the Inspiration Cafe with David Dubois, President, International Association of Exhibitions and Events. And please be sure to revisit the cafe for future discussions.